J-Dub is back at it here to give everyone my final Walking Dead Season 6 episode review video. But before I continue with that, it's extremely, extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead that you pay attention to the episode title. I'll, of course, put that title in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be The Walking Dead Season 6, episode number 16, the season finale of Season 6. The title of this episode is called Last Day on Earth. This will be my review, reaction, recap of the episode, and strangely enough, I had only watched this episode one time until I recently rewatched it. Of course, like all the other episodes, I wanted to review it for the channel, to have it on the channel, because The Walking Dead is my favorite show currently, and I wanted to review it due to the fact that they announced that Season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show, not necessarily the end of the Walking Dead story. After Maggie suffers from pain due to her impending pregnancy, Rick and the group, decide that they need to get her to the hilltop immediately for medical attention, doing so with their RV. And then, however, every one of the routes they take, it's blocked by a progressively large number of saviors, one of which led by Simon, a new character that we're introduced to in this episode, played by Stephen Ogg. With increasingly frightening capabilities. And they see with each moment that these guys are not fucking around. And then at the same time, Morgan finds Carol injured from a cut on her stomach, and he patches her up. And then while Morgan goes outside to kill a walker that is making a lot of noise that would attract other walkers, Carol flees and Morgan again pursues her on horseback. Now, the savior who survived her initial attack finds Carol first, and he shoots her in the right arm and the leg, stating that she will suffer like his friends did. And then Morgan shows up just in time to save her, breaking his vow by killing this character. And then they encounter two men wearing armor who approach on horseback, one of which is the one that Morgan had saved from Rick, the mysterious survivor that was running away, and Rick was going to shoot him, and then Morgan kind of pushed the gun at the last second. That's the guy who was looking for his horse. And then after the strangers offer them help, Morgan agrees to get Carol medical assistance. So Morgan is doing his part to keep Carol alive and ticking. And then after nightfall, with time running out, Eugene volunteers to be bait to distract the saviors by driving the empty RV by himself to lure them, while the rest of the group carry Maggie to the hilltop through the woods on foot. That's not a good idea. That was never going to work. And then, however, as the group carries a very weak Maggie on a stretcher, they end up running into a midst of a large group of saviors, led by Simon from earlier, who were expecting and waiting for them all to arrive. And then we find out that they already have captured Eugene, along with Len, Michonne, and Rosita, and a gravely wounded but still alive Daryl. So Dwight did shoot him, but Daryl is still alive for now. And the entire group, they've actually been disarmed and forced to their knees. And then as the group kneels helplessly on the ground, a man holding a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire steps out of the group's RV. Simon says, "The man," and straight out of the Walking Dead comic books, in an intimidating manner, he approaches and greets a nervous Rick, revealing himself to be the one, the only Negan, the leader of the Savers. Unhappy, Negan berates Rick for killing many of his men, and then goes on to explain the New World Order. The group now works for him, and half of their supplies now belongs to him, or half of their shit belongs to him. He introduces Rick to his bat, which he calls Lucille, Rick and the whole group essentially, and reveals that the entire setup, including the roadblocks, was simply to decide who gets the honor of dying as punishment for their actions. And then Negan threatens to put Maggie out of her misery Glenn lunges at him, but is, of course, pulled back by Dwight. And then, unable to choose a victim because there's so many of them, Negan claims to have an idea. He starts a game of eeny, meeny, mighty mole, pointing Lucille down the line of survivors as he recites the rhyme. And then he eventually lands on it, making his choice. From the victim's point of view, Negan prepares to beat them or that person senseless, and then he tells his men to cut out Carl's other eye and feed it to Rick should anyone move or say anything. And then, of course, Negan slams Lucille down onto his victim's head. To the horror of the other survivors, Negan continues to beat the victim over and over again in the victim's point of view. So we don't know who that victim is yet, and the episode ends. So, I mean, this is actually one of the most hated episodes of The Walking Dead because they left it on such a cliffhanger. And spoiler alert, so the next episode we find out that Negan kills, well, he kills 2 people actually. They should have killed one of them in this particular episode. I'm not a fan of cliffhangers, but TV shows do that. But they could have killed one and did the other in the season 7 premiere. But I mean, it was a very intense episode as they kept going to different places and there'd be different roadblocks. And at one point, the saviors were actually shooting at our survivors, but it was just their feet. They're trying to lure them into another place or to another place. And I think it's a good episode, but a lot of people are just mad at the pacing of the episode and the whole, like, it's going to be a cliffhanger and people are just irate. So a lot of people would give it a low 6. I'm going to give it an 8.1, and that's a little gripe about the fact that they didn't show who the victim was in this particular episode. As far as my character of the episode, well, it's going to be Negan. We're not supposed to like Negan yet, but we know that we do eventually like Negan, and this was his way. Hey, from Negan's point of view, Rick's group are bad because they killed a whole shitload of Negan's group. A whole shitload, and they hadn't killed any of Rick's people yet. So this is Negan kind of, getting them back, so to speak. So to Negan, he's the good guy here. So Rick is like the villain, in my opinion. But 8.1 out of 10. Negan's the character of the episode. I know a lot of you probably won't agree with my score. You'll probably give it a lower score, and that's fine. I want to hear what you think. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, and you like The Walking Dead, and you like this episode, Last Day on Earth, go ahead and smash the like button. If you know anybody else that would be interested in hearing about this, share the video to them. Don't forget to leave me comments about your thoughts on the episode, your score, your character of the episode, your favorite characters of The Walking Dead, your least favorite episodes, least favorite episodes, whatever you want to talk about. Just put it in the comment section. If you haven't seen the episode yet, you should have already, but if you haven't, tell me who you think Negan killed. There's a lot of people there. Rick, Carl, Michonne, Maggie, Glenn, Abraham, Eugene, Rosita, and Aaron. Did I say Aaron? I don't know. I'm forgetting. But a lot of people, or Daryl, of course. A lot of people to choose from. Let me know who you think he killed. And, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.